everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be the mid-year book freakout tag. Every June this comes around and it's basically just a questionnaire of all of the books that you've read, some that are disappointing, some that are good, and so on and so forth. There are, I think, 13 or 14 questions that I'm going to go through and just kind of show you what I've been reading lately. And then at the end of the video, I will tag a bunch of people to do it because I always love seeing these videos. I think that they're super fun. So let's just get right into it. So the first question just gets right into it. It's like, best book you've read so far in 2019. So this is gonna come as literally no surprise for anyone. But my most favorite book that I've read in 2019 is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyan. Y'all knew. So this is a Asian inspired fantasy where 8 girls get taken away to basically be concubines to the king of this kingdom. And a 9th girl gets taken. Her name is Leigh, and she gets taken because she has very unique eyes, and so they allow 9 paper girls to be there. This book deals with a lot of sexual assault, and there is also a women love women romance in here that is literally my favorite OTP of all time. I loved this book. It's weird to me that I just finished this in January because this book feels like an old friend. I don't know if any of you get like that with your favorite books, but Girls of Paper and Fire for me, I feel like I have known about this story for so much longer. It's just burrowed itself into my heart and just absolutely stayed there. And I just know that it's going to stay there for a very, very long time, maybe forever. And so this has been my favorite book that I've read. I did want to give a notable mention to Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon though. This one is probably my second favorite book that I've read this year, and I absolutely loved this book. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It did take me a month to read this book, but it was so worth it. The payoff for reading this book, you just feel so inspired and so accomplished after reading this. And I just loved the storytelling in this, particularly the mythology behind it, because the author did a lot of research in ancient mythologies from all across the world, and it really shows how much detail and how much effort she put into this story, because this book is just so extravagant and so vivid. The characters are amazing and the magic system is really awesome. The dragons are well thought out. It's just an amazing book that I really enjoyed my time reading, and I might do a reread of this specific copy because I just feel like I need to read it again, if that makes any sense. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2019. So the best sequel that I've read so far in 2019 is Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. So this is the follow-up to 6 of Crows, and this blew me right out of the water. I really liked 6 of Crows. I think I actually gave 6 of Crows 5 stars and Crooked Kingdom 4 stars, but this was such a solid sequel. It goes through all of the heist and all of the politics behind all of these worlds. I loved seeing more of Ketterdam because in the first book you don't really see that much of it, and I just thought that all of the webs that Leigh Bardugo wove in this book were really expertly done. I really enjoyed my time reading this. Would highly recommend the audiobook of this because it was phenomenal. So good. So the next question is the newest release that you haven't read but want to read. And for this one, I'm going to answer with Crown of Feathers by Nikki, Howe, Preto. I actually don't own a copy of this book. I really don't know what it's about, but my friends Jade from but my friends Jade and Soleil, I will leave their channels up here and down here. They really enjoyed this book. Like, I think they both rated it 5 stars. And so I've been really interested in looking into that because they literally will not stop talking about it. So the next question is most anticipated releases for the second half of 2019. So I have 3 books for this one, and I'm literally just going to get the first one over and done with because I know y'all know it's Girls of Storm and Shadow by Natasha Nyan. This is the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire. And I just found out that it's going to be a trilogy, which I'm so freaking stoked about. I need more of Ren and Leigh in my life, and I'm just so freaking excited for it. It comes out in November. I'm just so freaking excited. The next release that I'm super excited about is Gideon the Ninth, and this one has been pitched to me as lesbian necromancers in space. I literally know nothing else, but I want it. And then the last one that I'm super excited about is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Yes, I have a copy. I'm just as shocked as you are. Holy shit. So this is Leigh Bardugo's new adult novel, and I do believe it is a kind of like adult urban fantasy mystery, and it centers around New Haven and Yale. And to know that it's being set in that kind of area just makes me already excited. I've been to Yale, I've been to New Haven, and it's such a cool little area, and I'm just very intrigued to see how she writes in this book. I've just read her Grisha trilogy, so I'm very excited. So the next question is biggest disappointment. And this one, unfortunately, is Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. My friends all really loved this book, but I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. I just really didn't enjoy it. I thought that the writing was a little bit juvenile and the story didn't really go anywhere. And if it was going somewhere, it went literally all over the place. So I was very disappointed with that one. But my biggest surprise, which is the next question, was Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and this is another one of those books that I had no idea what it was about going into, but I'm just so excited and so glad that I loved this book because I've been hearing very mixed reviews from all of my friends reading this. So I'm really glad that I'm one of the ones that likes this book. Essentially what this is it is kind of like a fictional biography going over interviews with this rock band that was very, very prevalent in like the 1970s. It just goes through their lives and how they experienced their kind of rise and fall to fame in this band, and it was just really interesting and really fun and honestly really sad. I cried at the end of this novel and I wasn't really sure why I did, but it was just, it hit me in a way that I didn't expect it to. So I really enjoyed this actually, and it was the biggest surprise for me because I was expecting to hate it. So yeah. So the next question is your new favorite author, and for this one I think I'm going to have to go with Hafsa Faisal, who wrote We Hunt the Flame. I adore her so much. I'm on the street team for the We Hunt the Flame kind of like series, I guess. And it's so cool getting to connect to an author on that personal level. She is just so dedicated to her fans and just an incredible writer. She is just so strong as an individual. I just adore her as a person, and I loved We Hunt the Flame. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Read it, do it. We Hunt the Flame was awesome. Amazing. And yeah, I think that she's probably my new favorite author. I'm probably going to read all the stuff that she brings out because I just enjoyed We Hunt the Flame so much, and I just think that she's going to be a really big hit. So the next question is new fictional crush, and for this one I chose Meredy from Reign of the Fallen by Sarah Glenn Marsh. So Meredy is just a wonderful sassy human and I just love her so much. I think that she is just such a fun character to read about, and I just have the hugest crush on her. I guess with this one I can probably say Odessa. She's from the same series. I just love them both. I think they're great, and yeah. The next question is newest favorite character, and for this one I'm gonna use another book that I've already used and say Leigh from Girls of Paper and Fire. Leigh is the main character in this novel, and whilst she's not a fighter, I think that she has such huge emotional strength, and I just related to a lot of things that she went through emotionally. I love her so much, and I think that it's really sad that a lot of people don't like her because she's not a strong female character, but she is a strong female character. Female characters don't have to be physically strong in order to be strong characters, and I think that's what a lot of people miss about this series. And I love her so much, and my baby, I love her. The next question is book that made you cry. So I've already mentioned Daisy Jones and the Six, but the one that like really made me cry was Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. If y'all have read this, then you know why. I literally bawled. I don't know if you can see, but there are so many blue tabs. That's like emotional moments or sad moments. This is a really sad book. It's very bittersweet. It's very melancholic, and I just cried so much reading this. So what are you gonna do? Fuck. The next question alternately is a book that made you happy. So for this one, I chose Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. I love this book series with all of my heart. It is so adorable, so cute. This one goes through a lot more like real life situations, and it's kind of bittersweet a little bit, but it's so freaking cute. Like some of the moments in here, I just like squealed. I have a lot of pink tabs for this one, and I love this series so much. It's probably one of my favorites. I think for this one I gave it a 4 out of 4.5, maybe a 5 stars. I can't really remember my rating, but I remember being super happy when I was reading this book, so this is what I chose. So the next question is favorite book to movie adaptation. I haven't actually seen any this year, so I'm not going to answer this one. But the next question that I am going to answer is your favorite book review you've made for this year. This one isn't really applicable for everyone because not everyone on BookTube makes reviews. I think I got this from a blog actually, like the questions, so maybe that's why. But I am going to answer this one. My favorite book review that I've made so far is going to be the one that I made for Red Scrolls of Magic by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. I'll leave the link up here so that you can watch it, but that one is one that I talked straight from the heart for that one. And this book is really important to me because Magnus was the first bi character that I ever read in actual young adult fiction, and whilst the first couple of books of the Mortal Instruments series aren't the best, it was still really important to me to see that representation. And this one specifically goes through the beginning of Alec and Magnus's relationship and really shows you how it evolved and changed after this trip that they took. I just think that I did a really good job with that review, and I think it's one of my most viewed videos to date still. I'm still getting comments on it, so that's really awesome. Yeah, I really loved this book. If you are on the fence reading this book, don't be. It's amazing. So we're coming up to the end of this tag now. So the second to last question is the most beautiful book that you've bought in 2019. And for this one, I'm actually going to say Graceling by Kristen Kishore. This is a beautiful cover. It's not the best cover ever, but for me specifically, I think the aesthetic really appeals to me. And not just that, but I really enjoy the colors underneath the dust jacket. It has like this speckled sort of texture for the casing, and I really, really like that. Yes, I think I'm gonna read this next month, actually. I'm very, very excited. One of my coworkers, she raves about this book. She said that it's one of her favorite books of all time, so like, I gotta read it. And the last question of this tag is, what book do you need to read by the end of the year? I don't really like doing this question because like, I don't wanna put pressure on myself to have to read books, but there are actually two here that I do feel like I have to read. So the first book that I have to read before the year is up is A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. My boyfriend is literally going to kill me if I don't finish this book at some point because it's his favorite series. So I'm gonna have to read this. I'm around halfway through. I stopped reading it because I got overwhelmed with the amount of books that I had to read and the amount of arcs that I had to read. But I'm going to finish this book this year. It's gonna happen. Hopefully I'll finish like the first 3. But definitely this book for sure. And the last book that I want to finish by this year, I only have 2 on here, is Queen of Air and Darkness by Cassandra Clare. I've been putting off this book for literally so long. I'm so scared. The end of Lord of Shadows really, really like struck me hard in the heart. So I'm very, very scared for this book, but I also know that I have to read it in order to get to like the Chain of Gold series, which comes out in March of next year. So this has to happen. It's gonna happen at some point. I think I'm gonna read it in the fall because that's when I usually like to do like my Shadowhunters series reads. So I'm gonna do that in the fall. It's gonna happen, I promise. Maybe I'll make a review of this. This is my favorite series out of the whole like Shadowhunters franchise next to The Infernal Devices. So yeah. And there you have it. That is my mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a bit chaotic, but it's fine. Chaotic bi over here, you know, it happens.